Hey, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm Damon Campbell with MusicSmellLife.com here at the Loft in Lansing, Michigan, with some very special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
What's up, y'all? I'm DJ Big Red.
Yeah, I'm Josh Cocktail.
I'm Loggy. We're Radical Something. What's up?
It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm sure the viewers agree, since hopefully they'll be able to get to know you a little better in this interview. Again, we're here in Lansing, home of the Michigan State Spartans. And Loggy, you actually used to have like a East Lansing T-shirt that you used to wear back in the day in high school?
Yes, I did. When I was in high school, I had this one T-shirt. I don't know what it was, but there was something about the green and the white and the Spartans. I was just in love for some reason with East Lansing, Michigan. And I used to wear it probably way too much. It's probably pretty nasty, so I probably threw it away. But I do love East Lansing.
And speaking of high school, it's my understanding that if you guys had to do like group projects and stuff, you were the type of student at the time to kind of take over and do it all yourself.
Yes, I'm a complete control freak. These guys know it too. It probably gets, it must get horribly annoying. I'm just a control freak. But yeah, school projects, baby.
But on the flip side, it's also been highly publicized that you and Big Red were played college football at Cal. So you obviously have that sense of teamwork instilled in you, and not to mention the camaraderie between the two of you built up over time. So how much of that do you guys think factors in to your ability to work so well together?
Probably, like you said, playing football, it's like, you have your boys and you're with them 24/7 and you're all working for a goal, sort of. And we got done with ball, and it was kind of like crazy because, it's been like it's a different life, not having that. So we kind of found a way to keep that that vibe going, just like your boys that you live with and you work with and you have fun with, and you have bad times and good times and everything. But it's cool, man. We all work well together and vibe out and have fun.
And in terms of sports, I hear that Loggy, you started off actually playing hockey. It wasn't until freshman year that you got into football. Whereas Big Red, your dad Richard, actually played for not only Nebraska but the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, I didn't know y'all knew that. Yeah, my pops played. He played some ball, Nebraska, big time. We're actually going there.
Big Richie Records, man.
Yeah, man. I've always played football and all sports, but that's where me and Loggy.
Hockey's #1, baby.
Hockey's cool.
Hockey, man.
Like
Josh actually used to be a star on the hardwood, though. He used to make it rain.
Oh, no kidding?
Oh yeah. He used that stroke.
Nice. I didn't.
But
know
then
that.
I found out I could sing, and then the changed everything.
That's awesome.
Just stopped.
And then I elbowed him in the ribs when we played one-on-one.
I was bedridden for like a week. It wasn't good. I literally couldn't stand up. It was awful.
And Big Red, you ran track in high school too, right? You did track?
I did.
That's a lie.
I swear. I did like shot put and discus, and then I would always do the JV 100, and so it'd be like all like the freshmen or sophomores, and I was like 300 pounds. And I was like, let's go. I didn't even use the blocks. I just got my stance.
Really?
I never got last place. I never won, but I always beat some fool, and it was like his parents were up in the stands crying. This big dude just like smoked their kid. I'm out here.
Well, and speaking of track, that actually reminds me, Josh, something pretty significant happened to you when you were jogging once, right?
I know.
At my house,
specifically in Big Red's hometown?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was jogging up in the bay at Big Red's parents' house one morning. It was like 8 in the morning, and some neighbor called and said that I looked suspicious. So they had the cops come and sit me down and put me in cuffs and check my ID, or try to check my ID. I was jogging. I didn't have anything on me. And then the cops were just like, "We're sorry, we have to do this." The neighbors, they just said you looked out of place here. And anyways, yeah, so I went upstairs and, told Mikey's parents and yelled about it for a while. But actually it was a good thing, because that day we wrote one of my favorite songs on our first album, which is
Freedom, right?
Yeah, it's Freedom, which is kind of about that whole incident. That's how it all started.
Right.
So.
I remember that day.
How'd you know about
Dude,
that?
I was in the kitchen when you came back in.
Yeah. So bitter.
He's done his research. That's how he knows.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
Do you still do your best writing in the bath?
Whoa.
I know what he's talking about. Hell yeah.
God. Yeah, I have actually written when I first started making music. That was like my in hot tubs and baths was like my peace of mind place to really like sit and just like vent and be a poet, you know. So I haven't written lately in baths really, but actually we've written in the hot tub a couple times, you know. But geez, you know a lot, man. You're digging deep.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was crazy.
Dude, it's one of the first times.
Wouldn't tell me.
Josh told me about when he wrote.
The night that we met.
Yeah,
I wrote.
And he played me the song, and I had drinking way too much Jack Daniels or something. And Josh like told me this story about how he wrote this like beautiful song in the bathtub, and I listened to it. I was like tearing up. It was so funny.
I got a number for you guys. Let me know if this rings a bell. 2604.
Oh yeah, the greatest house ever. Now, I was gonna say because when Mikey talked about that earlier, it's so funny because we lived all together with a bunch of our homies on the football team at Cal at 2604 Fulton Street, and you know it was just this rundown house, but there was this collective thing of like everybody works together, everybody parties together, everyone creates together, and that's like kind of what we do today. You know, we have a big house down in Southern California, and it's everything. You know, we do everything in house, everything. Literally, we run our own label is what it comes down to, But it's so funny because we eat, sleep, and breathe. And we're down. We're playing the same video games. You know, we're hanging out. We're all drinking whenever. We're partying whenever. We're getting down to work whenever. We're waking up at 6 o'clock to go to practice together.
We really do. We have this huge house in the hood, and it's like it's
The rad pad, right?
It's in
We're up in Carson already.
Yeah, and it's funny because the house itself is always so much fun, but it's also so productive. It's like a 7-bedroom house, so there's like 2 offices and there's a merchandise room and there's a studio, and it's like it's literally it's like we essentially do run a label. You know, it's like we do everything ourselves. There's nobody else that's really involved in Radical Something other than us.
Right.
Our team.
Speaking of your team, I also understand that you guys have some Rugrats at the Rad Pad, specifically Tommy Pickles.
Oh my God! Actually, Tommy Pickles just unfortunately moved out.
Yes.
Oh no.
He did move out. Tommy, if you're out there, love you, bud.
Tommy.
But that's the moniker for our homie Joe Busy, who directed some of the greatest videos ever.
Like Sundown.
Step Right Up, stuff like that. So Joe Busy, we love you. He found a new place. And,
Holla.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
The dude.
Big Red, what can you tell people out there about the time that you and your buddies went over to E40's house when you were younger?
That's hella funny. Oh my God. So E40, he lives in my hometown, in the Bay Area, and I'm like a huge E40 fan. And so like I think we were like even too young to drive. We had some girls like mom driving us around, and we were like TPing people and shit. And we went up to his house. We drove up, and I had like an empty 40 thing, and like put it in there with like a note wrapped around it. I was like, "Yo, 40 water, what's up, my dude?" Like blah blah blah. Like mad love. It just obviously he probably saw it and was threw it away. I was like, "What the fuck?" But I've seen him around the neighborhood every once in a while. It's cool though.
No word from him since though.
Nah. We'll get
baby.
We'll get in the studio here pretty soon, but that was a long time ago. That was funny though.
And Josh, you mentioned eventually getting into music after your b-ball days, and specifically it all goes back to Amos Lee for you, right?
Yeah, I was a freshman in college. I started listening to this guy Amos Lee, like changed my whole perspective of music, and just through listening to him, I like found out I could sing, and I taught myself to sing. And I just used to sit on a computer and like literally I'd sit and record me just singing into a computer a cappella, and I'd play it back, and I like became obsessed with it. And it took a little while, but like finally I like figured out like how to really sing. And that was it. He was really it for me. Like definitely my biggest inspiration, like vocally, and still to this day, favorite artist of all time. Like, I love him. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And Loggy, I understand that you're especially fond of the band Revolution, and then Big Red, a huge fan of Sublime, Did you and Loggy once like dine with the guy who was like responsible for putting them together? Or getting them signed or something like that?
We met a homie. His name's Dion Davis.
Dion.
And he's a producer and he does like a bunch of publishing stuff in the music industry now. But back in the day, in the LBC, when it was like rocking with like Snoop and like that whole scene, he was there being a producer, and he like told us his story, and he was like, yeah man, like I remember going out to these like pool parties with these white boys, and they had these kegs, and we were like, what is this, free beer? And like these boys were playing this reggae music, and I was like, this shit's hot. And he introduced him to a guy, and then they put him in alignment, and then they did Skunk and all that, and it was kind of, we just met him randomly, so he was trying to figure us out, like what kind of music we were, and we were trying to explain. He's like, you ever heard of Sublime? I was like, dude, I got like Sublime tattoos on me and shit. Like, of course. And he did the summertime remix with Snoop.
Yeah,
and did that.
It was crazy because like we were eating dinner. It was like a weird night. Dude, Barry Bonds was eating next to us. Did we tell you about that?
That was
Barry
fun.
Bonds was eating there. We had this Italian place in Hollywood, and Dion started going on this like talking. He's like, yeah, dude, like you got white boys playing some reggae, got a little hip hop, like, you know, reminds me of like these dudes I discovered once, like Sublime, like just like totally nonchalant. We're like, what, bro? Tell us more. It's crazy though, man, and you know, he told us some stories and stuff. But you know, the fact that you know he was there for the birth of a band that's, you know, still somehow shapes a generation. You know, when they're technically gone. You know, it's crazy.
And Josh, I understand that you're actually quite the cook yourself, and so much so that these guys call you the Sauce Man.
You know, I love to cook. I really do. I don't know if I'm great at it. If you ask these guys, they would say I'm good. Yeah.
I'll tell you why he's a good cook. It's not because he could go to the store and like pick out like gourmet things, but what you got at the house, he will take and throw some crazy sauce mixtures in there and make something that will blow your mind. So just know that.
I'm flattered, Red. Thank you.
Breakdown.
I love to cook, man. I really do.
So
like,
you kind of double as the in-house chef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When we're at the house, I'm definitely totally down to cook up some sort of cocktail concoction.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Do you know a Richard Castleberry by chance?
Yeah, it's my good friend from college.
And he actually played a role in you becoming Josh Cocktail, am I right?
He did. He was around for the beginning of Josh Cocktail. Josh Cocktail came about because everybody, when I was younger, always told me that I looked like Tom Cruise. And there was the movie Cocktail.
From the movie Cocktail.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how the cocktail thing came about. And then he was the one that always just, it was like, you know, even before I started doing music, he would always call me kind of Josh Cocktail. And then when I got into music, he's like, you got to be Josh Cocktail. That should be your name, you know? And that's it. Rich, I miss you, bro. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
And then speaking of movies, I understand that your favorites are actually the original Planet of the Apes from back in the 60s.
Dude. They're my favorite ones. Planet of the Apes. Obviously remade with Mark Wahlberg in like 2008, and then great with what's his face, James Franco in like 2011, I think. Okay. Not remade, but original Planet of the Apes, best movie alive. Planet of the Apes, like mid to late 60s. Charlton Heston is in it, and it's like one of those films for me that I just can watch any time, and I'd never really watch movies over like duples, triples type stuff. Planet of the Apes, baby.
I've never seen it.
Damn you, you dirty apes!
Red and I have been watching the movie Heavyweights lately. Have you seen Heavyweights? We've been it's the greatest
You've never
movie.
seen the movie Heavyweights?
Ben Stiller. Oh man, it's a classic.
How did you
Like
never see it?
we repeat every quote. We know the whole movie line by line, and we just every day we're like finding like new funny quotes to like say to each other. It's great,
so
man.
Genius.
It's a great
On
film.
my Facebook, it's the only movie I like.
I think I like that
to
and the
check on
Goonies. That and the Goonies are like the two
Goonies,
movies
baby.
I like.
I'm all about the Goonies.
Goonies.
Oh man, that's a great one too.
Lastly, if you guys can, I guess, maybe take turns answering it individually. At this point in your careers, do you consider music your life? Each of you?
Yeah, man, that's all there is, for real.
Absolutely. Just, you know, it's my life. I love it. You know. so happy that I get to do it. Feel
Right.
blessed that I get to do it for sure.
Yeah, it's basically, it's literally the only thing we do, you know. Other than that, like, you know, we go home and we visit our friends and family when we can. You know, our parents and our brothers and sisters mean the world to us. Other than that, man, I would love to, I mean, like, I'd love to say we do some other stuff, but right now it's like, it's all we do, man. We're on the road, we're making music, you know. We're having fun doing it, though. That's the main part.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, guys. It's great chatting with you.
Dude, thank you so much, bro.
No doubt, man.
Appreciate it.
Bro.
Best wishes
Thanks
with
so
everything
much,
coming your way.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say to people out there watching?
Yo, be easy, my dudes. Come see us on tour and stay tuned for some new music coming out, son.
New album's going to be coming out
This summer.
this summer, probably. Love you guys. Take it easy.